Hey everybody, it's Marcia Dehn-Nix from Scrapbook and Cards Today, or you can call me Marcy. I am back today with a designer challenge scrapbook process video for you. The designer challenge is about using specific products that Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine sent me. What they sent me was the Spellbinders Golden Afternoon collection. I was supposed to use 5 papers out of this collection, and they were specific papers so that all the designers doing the challenge used the same papers. I also had the Golden Afternoon cardstock die-cut ephemera, Scrapbook and Cards Today City Alphabet dies, which you see me using here, and the Simple Stories Vintage Flower Shop foam stickers. I wanted to do the title Dandelion Wishes because I'm scrapbooking some photos of my grandson Jameson. He's about 18 months old in these photos. And I had this thought in my head because the title is bigger that I wanted to wrap the title around a square. I die cut a yellow pattern paper first with the city alphabet dies, and then I went back and also die cut the same letters from a brown cardstock. I wanted to create a shadow effect so that the brown paper would pop a little bit more off of my white background. So once I had everything die cut, I went and glued the brown background onto the yellow die cut letters on the back side, slightly offsetting it so that you can see the brown cardstock peeking out above and to the left side. I cut a piece of white cardstock down so I would have inch and a half on the edges of my layout, and I chose another background paper that had a lot of squares on it that I could use for my border. I then adhered my white cardstock onto a green pattern paper to create another square and adhered that over the top of my background paper. I used my Silhouette Cameo to cut a square frame from another floral piece of pattern paper, and I glued that down right in the middle of my white cardstock on my background. Then I was ready to adhere my die-cut alphas down onto my background paper. I'm starting and working my way right to left, so Dandelion is going to start with the N and then the O and the I because I want the title butted up in the upper right corner of this square. So Dandelion will be at the top and then Wishes will go down the side on the right. So we're working backwards with N, O, I, L, E, and so on, until I got to the point where I wanted to have some flowers peeking out from underneath my letters. I selected some die-cut flowers that I could use and adhered them down over the square corner there, and then continued with my A and the D in Dandelion. I selected more floral die-cut ephemera pieces for my lower right corner of the square, and then continued adhering the rest of my title down on the right side. So I have Wishes now going down on the right. I backed my photos on some white cardstock, and to give them some dimension and pop them up from my background, I am using some foam tape on the back of my photos. But before I adhere them down on my layout, I am going to just create some strips of pattern paper from the same yellow floral I used for die cutting my title, and also a pink pattern paper that was included in the papers I was to use. I'm just using these to ground my photos. I use the We Are Memory Keepers banner punch board to notch the ends of those papers so that I have a little bit of paper peeking out on both the right and left side of my photos. We have our photos, we have our title down now. Let's work on embellishing this layout. I'm going to go through more of the die cut ephemera pieces to see what I can use to embellish my layout with. I was really drawn to the negative strip die cut. I wanted it peeking out from behind the photo. But what I did for this is I didn't want to waste the die cut hidden behind my photo. So I have it peeking out there on the right side. And then what I did, once I decided how much I want to peek out, I went and cut what was hiding under the photo so that I could bring that over and have it peek out on the left side of my photo as well. Trimming the die cuts that are hiding underneath things is one way to extend your die cuts and be able to use them in other places. I also selected a tag die cut I could tuck under my photos at the top, along with another small floral die cut. I am going to work on creating a visual triangle here. So I have die cut ephemera underneath my title dandelion at the beginning of the title there in the upper left. I also have some die cuts in the lower right in the opposite square. So to create a triangle, I'm going to add another cluster of die cut ephemera then in the lower left on the other side of my photos. When I am scrapping outdoor photos, I like to bring in some natural jute twine to enhance my layout and give it more of an outdoorsy feel. I'm going to tie some jute twine into my tag that I have tucked under my photos at the top, but I'm also going to wrap some of that jute twine around my photos. So you can adhere the twine onto the back side of your photos using washi tape or foam tape if you want to pop up your photos and give them some dimension. And I'm also going to add a bow that I'm going to tie with my Bow Easy tool. This is a tool I just love using for tying bows. I'm adding some more floral die cut ephemera onto the left side of my photo, and I'm looking through the die cuts and I'm pulling out things that I think would be really cute to add layers on here. The deer, and there were some geese also. There's also a lot of adorable butterflies in the collection. This is really a gorgeous collection. If you haven't seen the Spellbinders Golden Afternoon collection by Rosie Studio, you need to go look. It's gorgeous, and it's perfect for your spring and summer photos, maybe even into fall. It's a little strange here, I know, watching me scrapbook this layout with a very heavy sweater on. I should explain. I created this layout in February for the magazine, and it takes a while for the production of the magazine to do the printing and get it all out to everybody. I live in Minnesota where it is very cold in the winter sometimes, and since I had this heavy sweater on, I'm guessing it was below 0 day. Next time, maybe I'll crank up the heat and I'll make sure I have a t-shirt on maybe and and not the heavy sweater, and it won't seem so bizarre watching a summer layout be created with this sweater. I'm excited too to see what the other two designers created with these products. For the Designer Challenge, 3 designers all receive the same products. And I was given the task of doing a 12 by 12 layout. Somebody usually is doing a double page layout. I have not seen what the other designers created with these products, so I'm really excited to see what they have created with it. I am adding some layers to my clusters now, so I have some geese that I have layered over the bottom corner of my photo in the lower right, and I have a deer tucked in the cluster there on the left side of my photos, and I have some birds with some more florals that I put up by the title dandelion. I have some die-cut butterflies on here as well, but toward the end of creating this layout, I realized I had yet to use any of the Simple Stories Vintage Flower Shop foam stickers that I was supposed to use. So I am going to swap out the butterfly in the upper left with a foam sticker butterfly instead. And I have a foam heart I'm going to add to the cluster in the lower left. And I have a phrase sticker, I pick you, that I added in the lower right underneath my photos. And that's my layout. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed my process video. Until next time, bye-bye.